retribution. Oh yeah, we want retribution. Oh yeah, we want retribution. Oh yeah, we want retribution. Yeah, we ran out of patience. Boil up with the cold hard hatred. I can feel the vibration. Feet in the streets, it's a new sensation. I wanna break faces on the pavement. I wanna make greatness look complacent. Adrenaline awakened, I can taste it. We can make an impact, grab and then take it. Like a disease, bring them to their knees. Paid for their deceit. Just like a weed, spread into the streets. Time to make them bleed. 'Cause we just want retribution. Let's go light up the darkness. Make true of an empty promise. Flip gods in the weekend, harmless. Take to the streets and turn them to a mosh pit. 'Cause we want retribution. Oh yeah, we want retribution. Oh yeah, we want retribution. Oh yeah, we want retribution.
I love it. That is just such great intro music. And I'd like to thank my buddy, Ryan Treadway, for writing it. Great job, Treadway. It's killer intro music. What's up, Prince Adam?
Same old, same old. Just started to peel today from the good old burn/tan from
Really?
Georgia. Yeah.
Oh man, I don't peel. I have to thank this small leftover percentage of native Indian that I got in me for kind of helping that transition from red into tan. So I'm good with that.
Nope, I'm not worried about it. These things happen.
Yeah. Well, welcome back, ADRL Nation. Welcome back, everybody. What a crazy week, huh, Adam?
Always is. Seems to get shorter and shorter, it feels like.
Shorter and shorter. It's like, well, we had 4 months to plan for SGMP, and now we have like 4 weeks.
Yeah, 4 months
to for Montgomery.
Time, so 4 weeks. Good job.
Yeah. You know, I think we'll have to figure out how to plan multiple events succinctly, right? Like at the same time.
I think that's going to be a lot easier to do now. The hard part and the trickiest part with SGMP was that was the first event. So everything was from square one. There was no template, no basis, no nothing from anything aside from what we knew from the previous couple events or what we can glean from drag racing itself. So
That's
yeah,
right.
that was a little bit of a tougher one, but this one I think we're going to get a whole lot smoother, and the process is just going to get more and more efficient as we go, because that's what I like to do.
That's what we like to do. Adam is the efficiency guru. He is what I like to call from a Nick Ray. What's up, brother? Yo, buyers. What is up? We were just talking about you buyers, Adam and I, how we absolutely love your social media posts. Like
That's a wild ride.
it's 1 minute it's we're talking about, you know, God-fearing individuals and family and love, and the next minute it's about super hot chicks half naked and all these dream girls, and the next minute it's about
Look at my dog house and then look at Reggie's balls.
Oh, it's so good. I just love it, man. I you know, man, I am a human person. I love human beings, dude. We're all just, everybody's super cool in their own unique way, man, and that's what makes living so awesome, man. But some people suck. I will just say that.
That happens.
But I won't go down that negative rabbit hole. What was I lost track? We were talking about how awesome everything was. Yeah, SGP,
4 months to 4 weeks.
4 months. Yeah, Montgomery. Oh, Adam.
Yeah.
So when we look at a organizational chart, you know, for all the business guys out there, organizational chart, Adam is what you would consider our integrator, or yeah, he's our integrator per se, right? So Adam is the one that you know, takes everything and works on getting it, make it melt. That's right. Steve Evan, what's up, brother? Watching from Oakland, California. Oh, watch out in Oakland.
Yeah,
Oakland's actually cool. It's got good spots and bad spots.
Check the Hooters out in Oakland. You'll find Steve.
Yeah. Are you at a Hooters, Steve? Just curious.
Or on your way to one.
It's great. My gosh, we have just such a great ADRL Nation is absolutely amazing, man. You know, we talk about a tight community. It is seriously, this drag racing industry is tight as it gets. And I never realized how in tune I am with everyone I've ever met in this industry. Like, it's like finding a lost family. Like, holy shit, I click with these people better than anyone, even better than some of the people in the music industry, because
better than some of my friends.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. Now it's Uncle Steve. Just so everybody knows, it is Uncle Steve. So we
got a celebrity in the mix tonight.
We got affectionately. Oh, NC Pro Modder. What's up, Jay? Oh man. Yeah, go Cole Pezs. Amen, dude. How's everything going? That NC Pro Modder, Jay, he's been making super killer traction and picking up the weight. I know everybody's talked about it, but no truck parking at Hooters in Oakland.
Yeah, planning on their part.
Preston Hopkins, I'm available. Amen. Amen. So, you know, we talk about need employment. It depends on maybe. Yeah, I mean, we got a small team right now. So as time goes on, and actually, I'll throw this out on the podcast. We will be looking for more. I'd like to find a dedicated competition director, and not anything from Eddie. Eddie played both roles last weekend. It was absolute. He managed to do it because he's a veteran and they know how to just deal with fucking chaos. We know how to deal with chaos.
It was a combination of everything allowed that to be possible in Georgia, but we just can't. You just can't count on that.
No, Eddie is our tech director. He is the licensed tech director. He can help make calls when it comes to absolutely everything. But I think we're going to get to the point eventually where we'll need to bifurcate the organization into very key functions. So, you know, me being my role, Eddie being Eddie and Adam in their role, and then, you know, a competition director that can sit up there and take some.
And Bonnie.
Oh, of course.
Of course, Bonnie.
What were you going to say after that part?
I wasn't going to say a darn thing.
Oh, you weren't? Okay, cool.
No.
Of course, my mom, Bonnie.
My phone off now.
Ever met her? Of course, my mom and stepdad. Aid Scalade, come on in here, Aiden. Come on in here. I want everybody to say hi to my older brother, Adrian. Come on over here, brother. I know you tried calling. I didn't want to answer. Just say hi to everybody. We're live.
I know you called. I avoided you. What's up, Aid?
Have a seat. You can have a seat, man. Just chill out. Even though you probably can't hear what we're saying, we're talking. But yeah, the power amp. I told so I got my older brother Adrian. I want to get down a whole side thing because we're talking about drag racing. But you know, my brother Adrian's a collector of all audiophile stuff, old 70s vintage equipment. So he had gifted me a cassette deck from the 70s, a Fisher cassette deck, and a receiver, which is super badass. So I found a matching power amp to go along with it. But because it was old new stock and it quit working, Carter Jackson, what's up, brother? Because it quit working, I took it to the shop down in the city in St. Louis, had him fix it, brought it back, and it is a banger. Aid gave me some Sansui speakers to play along with it. I can't even turn it up halfway, and it's max super loud. So I messaged Aid earlier. I was like, dude, the power amp's working again. And so, I know he came by to check it out. So I'm sure it just happens to be podcast time. So let's without further ado, let's kind of keep going here. Cause you know me, I'm feeling good on some coffee. It's Thursday night. We got some bad mofos on the podcast with us. Just want to throw out again, everybody, remember, Drag Wars. May the 4th be with you.
No, may the Montgomery with us.
May the 4th be with us. And may it be with you with us.
Yeah.
May your 4th be with us. May the 4th be with us. However you want to look at it, Drag Wars. Montgomery, May 3rd and 4th. Be there. Montgomery International Dragway. It's going to be super awesome. We've already been talking with Brad, getting everything worked out. Old man ADRL has been asleep for a little bit, but let me tell you something. He's up, he's stretching, he's drinking his coffee, and he's ready to rock and roll. And we've been kicking some ass. I don't know if anybody's seen those analytics, but they're looking pretty damn good. So we're going to keep chugging along, and we're going to keep pushing and digging. Brad's got some great ideas for that to make it another great event. So we're going to keep rocking. We will have a vote link up for everybody for all the racers, Pro Extreme, Pro Nitrous, Extreme Dragster. And then whatever filler classes we'll have a vote registration link up here soon. I will be posting the payouts and the schedule tomorrow. So if you're watching, you participate in any of those classes, please go register before the event so we have an idea of how many's come in, how we can, from a promoter standpoint, I want to make sure I get a lot of the classes together in case you guys my motorhome may roll in for Montgomery. Okay, sweet, dude. Yeah, Byers, I'd love to see you, man. I walked around with Byers for like a couple miles. We spent a lot of time walking around at Rockingham. That was a great time. But so we're going to do another thing I want to announce for the event. Okay, if you haven't already picked up on the theme, a couple people have. This is ADRL Drag Wars.
We're laying it on pretty thick.
May the 4th be with us. I'm kind of throwing it out there so everybody can kind of get it. It is Star Wars themed. So what we're going to do is we are going to have a Star Wars costume contest. All right. So, any of the teams, racers, individuals, spectators, I've got to figure out how to get that out there in front of the spectators. But anybody that has the best costume, we will be giving cash prizes out for that. So haven't decided on who or how many or how much, but I promise you we will. So it's going to be fun. I've already decided who I'm going to be. Prince Adam, have you decided who you're going to be?
No, I'm keeping things tight-lipped for right now.
Oh, maybe I should too. Should I not spoil it?
Oh, I wouldn't spoil it.
Okay, I'll take your advice. All right, fair enough. I won't spoil it then. But again, Pro Nitrous, Pro Extreme, Extreme Dragster, go to the vote, register as soon as we get that up, and I'll make an announcement on social media so everybody knows when to do that. We will have a filler class or filler classes that'll be determined. I think we may have it narrowed down, and we'll probably do something similar to what we did at SGMP with Brad, with some super kick-ass box and no box bracket racing. And let's see. Really? I think that's all we got, other than we're busy as shit making Montgomery going to be a banger.
Yeah,
so
stay tuned.
Yeah. What's time on deck? Time on deck is 7:13.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Let's see. Yep, I got nothing else. So without further ado, I don't know if anybody can tell whose sweet ass ride this is back here. It might give it away on the hood. I'm not sure.
Yeah, you can kind of make it out. I mean, if you know what you're looking at.
It looks like it says PJS Racing.
I think it does.
It does. And it's not an old school body either. Where did this thing come from?
Not the Headhunter, so I'm confused.
I know, it's not the Headhunter. Whose is it? What is it? I bet you I know. Without further ado, let's welcome in the bad mamma jamma engine wizard, Cole Pezs. What's up, brother, man?
Doing good. How are you guys?
Oh man, we're living good, brother. We're living good, as you know, as we previously talked about.
You like the title?
Of course, I love the title, man. You are an engine wizard,
dude. I know. I'm like a fucking magician.
You are a magician. Have you come up with a name for her yet?
It's Destiny, actually.
Destiny.
I said that in one of my little videos. The reason why I named it Destiny is because it was destined to be my whole life. You know, I think a lot of people, obviously my grandparents raced, my dad, my mom, my uncle ran Top Fuel, so I don't really have a choice. I'm kind of stuck in this game, whether I want to be here or not, which I definitely want to be here.
It's in your blood, dude.
Dude, it is what it is. I'm here for the long haul. So
that's right.
And so is she. I can promise you that.
You got transmission fluid and oil in your veins, bro.
Oh, dude,
grease.
Probably my blood. I'm telling you, dude, it's ridiculous. I'm telling you. I like half the time I run around, I got a grease stain up here, and my friends are at the races, and that's when they know not to F with me. They're like, he's in game mode. You know what I'm saying?
Is that intentional, dude? Oh my god, that should be an intentional thing. Yeah.
Or if you just sweat out, dude.
Get it tattooed on there.
That's a great idea.
When I get in the car, like when I'm driving the car, just put a little grease stain right here, like a football player.
Dude, that could be your call sign.
I get out of your way.
So tell us about your shop there, man. What a bitchin' shop you got. Holy cow. I love all the posters, man. Who rides a Harley? Your old man ride a Harley?
This is actually, so this shop is based out of Imperial Construction, which is Jeff Jones's construction company. We're actually in the back of it. He has I want to say, I don't know exactly how big the shop is, but we've been here for about 7 years. We build all of our engine stuff in here. PJS is still a very fresh company, right? It's only really been selling engines for probably a year and a half, the 4.9 engine.
Oh, really?
So, yeah, it's probably a year and a half, 2 years, really. Like, we designed it 4 years ago, but we did a lot of R&D before we wanted to sell them. So
can you reiterate? So, look, the beauty of this, and what I absolutely love about having guys like yourself on the podcast is, you know, I love cars. And you can ask my brother, Aid. You know, I've been racing cars since I was a kid. But on the streets and 302 Mustang motors and shit back in the day, right?
Yeah.
You know, and Adam is new to the industry as well. But I always find this as a great opportunity to ask questions, because from an engineering standpoint, engineering's in my blood, right? So I'm always intrigued by things. So when you say 4.9 motors, is that the measurement between? Is that the technical measurement?
That's the bore spacing.
The bore spacing, that's right. Yes. In between cylinders, essentially, is what you're saying? The spacing in between cylinders. Gotcha.
And the difference between like the PJS motor, and I don't really want to call out other companies, but there's other 4.9s out there. I'm sure everyone knows kind of what I'm talking about. Is we raised the cam up 2.5 inches, and we made all the push rods straight. You know, there's a lot of things, harmonics and deflection, and regular Hemi. Like if you ever look at a regular Hemi valve train, it's kind of a mess. I'm speaking straight out of my dad's book when I say all this. But it's kind of a mess. It's kind of something that was kind of thrown together, it seems like. Because if you look, the valve hangers are kind of, the push rods are going like this, and they're only 3/8, and they're not real big. And if you look at a PJS, I think our push rods are 3/4. I mean, they're huge. You know what I'm saying?
So you guys are, so you guys essentially are you milling your own blocks?
Or
machining them?
Yeah, so like I said, it's kind of a new company still. So like that is our goal, to do all of our own in-house machining eventually, because it really, like, the main thing that helps. Luckily, since Dad is such a good name and has such a massive amount of respect from everybody, like
your dad's awesome, dude.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it's that's the main thing. Like in the game right now is getting parts. It's hard to get parts, and a lot of people are struggling with that. We are not, thankfully, because Dad, everyone respects the hell out of him and knows, like, hey, money's going to come in the door. We're clean, we're good. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
But CN Blocks, Chris and Chuck Newton, they do all of our blocks right now over in Rockwall, Texas, and then Slick Rig down in Montgomery, or I think somewhere around Houston area. He does all of our heads and stuff. So.
Oh, right on, man. Speaking of which, are you going to come to Montgomery and take some hits in that thing, or what? Or are you guys busy?
I would like to. I am very busy right now, to be honest with you. My plan with the car, I have some big ideas. Like, the thing is look, everyone wants me to drive the car, and I totally understand that. And I want to drive the car. And I'm ready. But the thing is like, it's a little different when you get in your own car, and it's your money. You don't have a lot of experience, and you kind of want to, I do want to take it lightly. But also, I kind of feel like there's ways you can look at it to promote yourself. Like when Chuck drove my car, look at the press that I got off of that. You know what I'm saying? So
shit. Wait until I drive your car.
Yeah,
Dude, that would be sick. I'm down. Let's do a burnout. Let's do a burnout or two. If you hit the chip, you got to change some valve springs, but we'll be fine.
Hey, you know what, man? I'll fork out whatever needs to happen.
Hey,
Here's a funny thing is that Adam and I talked about this, and I had actually considered doing some content about me going and getting my license and turning my 70 Cutlass into something badass. But I'm a rookie, bro. I would be racing like a 5.0 index or like at the most like a 470 or 480 or something.
Yeah,
like that. So,
I understand that.
So you understand more than everybody.
Dude, I went straight from junior dragsters when I was 15 years old. I drove an alcohol funding car, which I don't know if that was exactly legal or not, but we did it.
Bullshit. Are you serious, dude?
Yeah, and I went like 60 feet. When I say I drove it, I shit my pants for about 60 feet, and then I got out of the throttle. You know what I'm saying? But,
for sure.
Oh, it was intense. But going from juniors to that, then 2 years later, I make one run of Pro Mod. Then 2 years later, I make another run of Pro Mod. And then 3 years from now, I finally got to make 3 back-to-back runs. I just don't have a lot of experience yet. I do plan on getting my license here in a couple of weeks. And I don't know exactly what the future holds for the car yet. I have another opportunity that I'm chasing right now that is guaranteed. And it's going to be believe it or not, it's going to be way bigger than this. I think that's really going to – I believe it, dude. I don't think anyone sees it coming yet, but it's about to be a massive deal.
Is that the guarantee if you're taking the title in Texas? Yeah, we were talking about.
We're definitely. I'll tell you right now. Anytime I can get down to XRP, I'm just going to say it. And I know my dad's cringing right now because he's about to say it. Anytime we get down to XRP and whip up on Clyde Scott, we're going to be out there just wearing. You know what I call this motor? Actually, the Clyde Scott Killer. That's exactly what I call this thing.
Get the fuck out of here! You hear that, Clyde? Yes, Clyde Scott Killer.
I'm telling you, he talks so much and then cancels the race. It's like, man, what are we doing here? I mean, come on, bro. What are we doing? So anyways, guys, whenever you're ready, your car's lighter than mine. So you obviously have an advantage, which I'm not going to complain. And I ain't putting no money up. But let's just have some fun. Let's just go out there and run them. And my goal is to leave on your ass because my shit's going to run 55 maxed out because it weighs 2,550 pounds. Yours car weighs like 2,290 or something like that.
Well, here's the interesting thing is that I did put a 2350 weight minimum on the Pro Extreme class, trying to draw in some heavier guys. But then to come to find out, the heavy guys didn't give a shit. They're like, yeah, whatever. I mean, when you look what happened, I mean,
not many people seem to really give a shit at the end of the day.
Yeah, I'm almost wondering like, well, and the reason I'm saying that is that with the 2350 weight minimum, shots fired exactly. With the 2350 weight minimum, I don't know if Clyde would run. I don't know if Clyde would run with the 2350.
Brian, the problem is he ain't gonna leave XRP. So the only one he's gonna go to is November 15th, I believe is what the date is at XRP.
Yeah.
If he don't show up to that one, then I don't know when he's going to race, what he's going to race. I just want him to stop making live videos and say he's going to race if he ain't going to race. So let's race. Let's get it on. Let's do this damn thing. I'm young, and I'm talking a lot. Like I respect the hell out of him. I want to make that clear. But I'm ready to stamp my name, like y'all said, especially in the state of Texas. Because look, I'm a small, I don't have a lot of money. I'm a small time operation. Texas is mainly where I'm going to be running at, but I will say this, we want to go run for 150 grand. I already have an idea lined up for that. I'm working on hard right now to go run that Midwest Pro Mod $150,000 deal.
Yeah.
But I might not be in the seat. Leave people wondering who might be in the seat there. And I got a deal for World Series too that I'm really want to work on for next year. I'm already working on it. I'm telling you right now.
Yeah, so, no, that's awesome, man. I love to hear that. Like your enthusiasm and your passion and your drive is exactly where it needs to be. And that's why I don't doubt at all that you have something huge in the works that you're just not going to tell everybody until it happens. And then everybody's like, damn, what? It's just, I feel it, bro.
I mean, if you need a platform to release that information at that point in time, just let me know.
It's going to come out here in about a month. The main deal I'm talking about. Some people know, my family knows, you know what I'm saying?
Sure.
I honestly can't believe it myself. I'm still kind of in shock about the whole thing. I feel like all I've ever done is work hard and do a lot for others, I feel like. And I think a lot of people can attest to that, I feel like. I'm a team player, 100%. This whole deal, I would not have been able to do this without Chuck 55, Fred Warner, Turbo. I love you, Turbo. Chris Dollar, Brandon McCann, everybody involved. I mean, there were so many people involved to get this thing done. And it was not just me. I want to make that very clear. Cole Pezs Racing is not just Cole Pezs. It is everybody. I mean, it's Braden Profit, it's Clayton Reeves, all my friends, obviously my dad. Like, I don't make this car go. I know they said a lot, oh, Cole's tuning his own car, and that was all a publicity thing, I guess, because I was not tuning my car. I was working on the car. I'll be real,
You're working
like, I'm not.
I wasn't tuning it. I was just actually building it, as a matter of fact.
Exactly, yeah. So, and we
No,
thrashed on it.
I could possibly say I may perhaps have an inclining on what you're talking about, but I'll say that I don't. So I don't know what you're talking about, but I'm happy for you, dude. And dude, you got a great, big, bright future ahead of you. So bright, you should probably wear shades everywhere you go. Just saying.
Yeah, I need to be wearing shades in this building right now. These lights are kind of bright, but
looks good, man. Yeah, NC Pro Monitor. Oh, isn't he super cool, man? Yeah, he is such a good dude, man. He's out there and he grinds. He promotes the shit out of himself. He's at all the events. I mean, look at, and he's got 1 million sponsors. I'm so jealous of all of his sponsors, man. Like, I'll get there one day, though. We'll get some sponsors for Adam.
Oh yeah, for sure. I'm telling you, like, one thing I will tell y'all that's really cool to me. I'm not trying to interrupt anything, but what's really cool to me is like ADRL back in the day. Like, a lot of people don't. Like, I would say the newer people, they don't know what it was. Like, I remember when I was a kid running ADRL, it was the shit. I mean, it was like, it was giving AHRA a run for its money at one point in time. And
you're damn right. Oh, for sure.
I'm telling you, Ryan, what you're doing, I support you. I got your back. Whatever you need, I support you 100%. And, I saw some stuff. I don't know the whole story. I'm not going to get involved, but like some racers say you didn't pay or something. I watched the whole thing. You know what I mean? Like, some people, like you said, some people are going to come at you, but you're doing a damn good job, and we're going to support you no matter what. Me and Dad talked about. We think you're a good dude, and ADRL coming back in drag racing is massive, and I think it needs to be talked about more. I really do.
Yeah, I appreciate you saying that, man. I feel like a lot of the outlets, though, that I feel like a lot of the outlets, and this is from the outside looking in. I've only been in on this side of the fence for about 1.5 years, right? So, but I have a unique perspective where I can kind of look still from the outside in, and I feel like a lot of the outlets that have the most attention, I mean, the bottom line is a lot of that has stemmed solely from the ADRL. If it wasn't for the ADRL, I mean, really, none of these other pro mod series would even exist. I mean, that's just the bottom line. And I mean that very humbly. I mean, it is what it is. So I don't know if there's a slight bit of conflict of interest, or people are like, oh shit, here we go. Or, it's like this hodgepodge. So to your point, I'm going to get the love where I get it. We're not going to get it where we don't get it. And that's okay, because I'm in it for the future of racing, for the guys that know it for what it used to be, and that can move on, and we're going to make it great again, and keep grinding, man. So no, I appreciate you saying that, brother. Yeah, no, it's amazing. And the support and the feedback, and you texted me, dude, at SGMP, meant the world to me, man. Like, you were texting me, Donald Long was texting me. I mean, shit, even Donald. Yeah, Donald was sharing our stuff, and I was like, man, and people were like, bro, Donald don't share nobody's shit. I was like, really?
No, hell no. No. I saw the same thing and thought the same exact thing. I was like, man, that's badass. He's trying to support you guys and help y'all, and that means a lot for sure.
Yeah, and in the big scheme of things, I'd like to have like a giant, and this is just how I envision it, but I'd like to have a giant Woodstock of drag racing, right? So we end up getting up, right? With ADRL's coming back, we're hot and heavy, we're back at where we used to be, and you got Midwest, you got all these other organizations, right? How bitching would it be to combine or get everybody together to put on like this Woodstock of these awesome series, just in one, to make it just the biggest, baddest fucking banger of all time, And maybe I'm just daydreaming, but I don't fucking
know. That's a badass idea. Hey, never dream too big. That's exactly what I always tell myself. Dude, never dream too big.
That's fucking great. Never dream too big. You can't put a limit on yourself, man. No,
people will limit you if you allow them to. You know what I'm saying? And if you limit yourself, you're never going to go anywhere. So.
That's right, bro. You just keep that mindset.
Yes,
you just keep that mindset, man. Yeah. So I'm going to go a different direction here real quick. So we were talking about your motors and Hemis. My brother's a huge Mopar guy. I'm a big Mopar guy. Is Hemi just in general? I know they're not all Mopar motors, but it's the concept from an engineering standpoint. Is everybody running Hemi motors for the most part in blown cars?
Yeah, essentially. There's some small block I don't really know much about it. There's some small block deal that like what's his name? David Reese ran there for a while, and they got
Yeah.
like a huge weight rig, went 355 with it. The problem with like, you know, some small block stuff or like big block Chevy stuff, like Jeff lets run, you know, big block Chevy and MPK, but and I'm not knocking big block Chevy. It's just like it just doesn't hold up. Like Damon Merchant kicked a lot of our asses this year in MPK, found a loophole, had a Hemi bottom half with big block Chevy heads and stuff like that. But he always, and he won a couple, I give him that. But if you look at his trailer, dude, they're just working, patching, staying together to keep it going every round, you know. So it's really hard for them to keep it together.
Yeah.
Regular Hemi, you know, like I said, there's just a lot of problems with the valve train area, and we've kind of perfected all of that. I think it's shown. You know, Luis did some dyno numbers at Fuel Tech. It's hard to compare to like a Noonan or a AJ or a Pro Line or whatever you want to call them, AJ.
Mhm.
You really need to be on the same dyno. You know, Luis has already told us like we've made more power than I think any screw car. I don't want to say 100% that's accurate, but I think so. The only one that we really want to try ourselves against is like a Hornick style motor, like what Stevie's running.
What
There's
is
a guy
it? A
named Joe Hornick.
Hornick?
Yeah, a guy named Joe Hornick. He came over from NASCAR. I don't know how long ago. My dad knows more about the story than I do. I learned it from my dad, but he's a very smart man that was in R&D for I think Joe Gibbs Racing. I'm not 100% sure, but he came over with Jason Line and stuff for Greg Anderson a long time ago, and he's been working on some stuff. And I mean, super smart guy. I've met him like one time. So smart, like I don't understand a damn thing he said half the time, to be honest with you. But
I've met
you know
people
what I
like
mean?
that.
Him and Dad in the same room is just like a freaking your brain's gonna start hurting. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah. You're
I
like,
can like I'm gonna it's just overloading you. But
right. It's like a computer. You're trying to process it all, and the fans are kicking on, but it's still getting hot and overheating. You're like, oh, I can't process
exactly.
anymore.
But to answer your question though, like most people like a blown combination, yeah, it's a Hemi style
Yeah.
setup.
I was asking your dad if you guys had like engines laying around. I was like, look, man,
We
I
have,
got this.
we have a few.
I was like, hey, look, I got this Weekend Warrior 1970 Cutlass. It's got a 450. It's an old 454 GM motor. It's got some old snowflake heads in it. It's got like an old B&M mega blower, 420 mega blower and a roots blower, you know, and it's a fun Weekend Warrior, but you know, it's cool and it lopes and it's like whatever, but it's not good enough, especially when you're around, you know, these mountain motor pro stock cars and, you know, your pro extreme cars and the really bitching, like real horsepower cars, right? I'm like, fuck, man, I wonder if they had one that nobody wanted that they'd sell to me. I could put in my Weekend Warrior car, you know. But
I'm sure we could work something out if you wanted to. Obviously, the one in my car, the real name of the one in my car, I was just messing with Clyde. It's called the OG. It's actually like the first motor we ever built 4 or 5 years ago for the new PJS deal. We were part of the another company, a 4.8 deal a long time ago, about 5 or 6 years ago, and help with that company, Hemi deal. And then we were trying to move forward, and we just didn't have the same vision. We went this way, and we start PJS with Jeff Jones, and I mean PJS stands for Pezs Jones and Sons. A lot of people don't know that. We're not changing the name or anything. We bought Jeff out this last year. He just had to step away from racing for a little while, but we're going to keep it going, and I promise you he'll be back eventually. Jeff is one of the greatest people I've ever met in my entire life, and without Jeff, we would not be where we are right now. So I just want to say thank you to Jeff. But
amen.
So
yeah, no, that's good, man. Well, you know what? We're gonna keep plugging, brother, and you know, ADRL is gonna keep grinding. I know you're gonna keep grinding, and you know, I'm super excited to see where your future takes you, man. Like I said, I know when I was your age, I was gung ho, brother, and I was absolutely gonna be the best, and I was, you know, and this was when I was younger in the Marine Corps, and you know, it's just not a very common personality type to have to be that driven. You know what I mean? You can call it coming by it by natural disposition. You know, maybe you were, I don't know if you were groomed that way. There's nurture versus nature. I know your old man, right? And your old man is about as stoked as they come. Like sometimes I'm like, man, is he pissed or no? He's not mad. No, like he's cool. He's just analyzing shit or something. I don't know. But then all of a sudden, like,
having the time of his life. I don't know.
Yeah. But then he just smiles real big, man. And he's like, hey, you know, and it's like, oh man, he's just such a cool cat. You know, but I think you have a certain something special in you, man. And you just keep building on that and you're going to keep kicking ass. So, let's talk about your Z28. So, with your Z28, with your new Camaro, tell us about that body style, why that body style? Because, it seems like everybody likes
why
Camaros.
Camaro the main one?
Well, they're very aerodynamic. Dad's car obviously is the opposite of aerodynamic. But it's cooler for sure.
For sure.
I'll give Dad that. I'm gonna give him that. It's not as fast yet, but it's cooler. No, I'm playing. But the Camaro, I actually bought this car. So I don't know if you know, when my dad had a really bad crash in Gainesville in 2020, I believe, or 2021.
I heard about it.
This is the car that hit my dad from the side at 217 miles an hour. And this kind of came off of a whim. I'm planned, but I kind of just, in my life, I'm not afraid to take a risk if it's a calculated risk. You know what I'm saying? And I made sure that I calculated everything before I bought it. But my buddy Brandon McKinney came in here one day. We were talking, and he's like, "Man, Dustin Nesloni owned it when my dad ran into him, or he hit my dad, or whatever you want to call it."
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't know what he was going to do. He was actually one of our customers. I think it freaked him out. It was a really, really bad crash. I think it freaked him out for a little while, and he didn't know what he wanted to do. And I totally understand that. After something like that happens, it's pretty horrific for everybody. So we all kind of stepped away for a couple months. COVID happened, all kinds of shit. And I heard that he was selling this car, and I heard the price tag, and I thought, what's coming with it? You know what I mean? And we started talking, and next thing you know, I heard about it, and I was like, I don't know how I'm going to build this damn thing. I don't know how to weld. I don't know how to do any of that, So, but I always wanted to learn how to do stuff like that. I didn't weld the car or anything. I'm just so busy now that, to be honest with you, it's hard to learn new trades. I already have so many trades. But I called my buddy Brandon McKinney. I said, hey, I'll work for you on the weekends. Let's do this. Let's do that. And I was trying to get him to weld it for me. And he did everything he could for me. He came here and knocked some stuff out the last minute right before the race. And then I called my buddy Dollar. He does paint body. And the next thing you know, to be honest with you, after 2 years of it, just took a while. And my dad told me that when I first went into it. He's like, because if you saw where it was when I bought it, you'd be shocked where it is right now. And my dad told me, he's like, look, you do what you got to do, but it's not going to take you 2 years. It's going to take you 5. You know what I mean? Like, you think it's going to take you 2. I'm just telling you, I love you. Do what you think is best. But is spending all your money on a pro mod the best idea at 19 years old? And I was like, you're damn right it is. So I went right over there. A week later, I had a girlfriend at the time and didn't tell her because I knew she'd be pissed. She was wanting to move in somewhere. I went over there, took everything I had out of the bank. I had $148 left in my name. I drove all the way over to Cleburne, picked it up, handed the guy all the money, and then I got it here. And to be honest with you, it was just a bunch of parts, really, is all it looked like. And I looked at it, and I was like, one day I'm going to have something like that. And I always, for the last 2 or 3 years, I really sacrificed. I drove all around the country to make sure I'm making extra money wherever I can, putting back. And every time I'm, putting back, everyone's like, man, are you up? Are you doing good? You want to go to the bar? I'm like, no, I'm broke because I'm putting money back into this until I can get it done. You know what I mean?
You're like, I'm on a mission.
Oh, for sure. And then for it to go where it did, I can't believe it, to be honest. I met Chuck. I don't know what it was. It's a God thing. I believe in God, obviously. And I just had this weird feeling about Chuck, and I felt like we got along well. And I was like, man, I think he'd like to be a part of something big like World Series. And I was trying to figure out how to get it done. I've been, working on it. And I was like, man, Chuck, we should get this thing together. Well, he owns the body shop. He, so we kind of worked a deal out.
Is he from Texas, from around your guys' area?
Yeah, he's from Oklahoma. He's Lawton, Oklahoma area, or Elgin. Yeah, Elgin, Oklahoma. So it's about 3 hours from here. Me and my buddy Fred Warner that works for Chuck, Turbo Jordan Pitts, we went over there, picked it up from Brandon McKinney's shop. Brandon was so busy, he just didn't have time to weld that. I totally understand. He's a very busy dude. He works on all kinds of freaking pro mods in Texas mainly. But we took it over to Chuck's shop and we just started going. And Fred did 95% of the fab. Me and my buddy, we got it 3 weeks or 2 weeks before the race, and me and Turbo, man, we sat in here for, I'm telling you, like, eventually, like, the shop is really cool, but there's a certain point where you feel like you're going through hell. And after you've been up for 5 days straight, you know what I mean?
You start getting overheated. You're like getting delusional. You're making stupid little mistakes. You're like, oh my god.
There was times like we were just trying to mount what's called a nano, and a nano is like a separate little device that Fuel Tech made that you can put like on your firewall to see your oil pressure and your idle and stuff. So you don't have to, like, you can adjust the idle from out front and see it. It's actually like right where my thumb is.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah. So it's like the small ECU. And we were just trying to mount that thing on there. And we made like 4 brackets. And by the 4th bracket, it was 4 in the morning. we looked at each other. We were like, man, we're done. Let's just go to bed for at least an hour. You know what I mean? Like, we were laughing. And so
Yeah,
that
that's,
was,
it is. And when you're on a grind, it's like, and I know that feeling. I've been in that position, obviously over my lifetime, you find yourself in those positions where with individuals like us, right, where we're on a mission and it's like, we're doing this until it's done, whether it takes 3 days or 30 days, right, of no sleep and grind. And you just get delirious and you're making silly mistakes. You're like, oh my God, man, we're going backwards. What are we doing?
exactly.
And you just, but you keep grinding and then you do it. So you ended up building your car in a week. That's pretty dope,
much
dude.
like a week. And I will tell you, like, I'm not going to take shots at anybody, but I've seen stuff like, oh, well, these street outlaw guys, they only had 20 runs, or we only had a week to put our car together. I think it's a testament to how smart my dad is and how just badass him and Luis work together for it to run the way it did. I can put nuts and bolts on this thing all day long, but I don't make it go down the track. You know what I mean? So for it to run the way it did, I actually broke down. I don't know if anyone was there after Q3 Friday night. I broke down completely. I mean, I cried for like 30 minutes after we went 64 because I knew that we got in. And to be honest with you, when we got it all done, normally when you have those thrash type situations, it's just a shit show when you get there. I didn't think we were going to get in. I figured my dad's car would be the one leading the charge out of our camp. Yeah. And for it to do what it did, man, honestly, it was a God thing. It's 100% God. I'm telling you right now, because I felt it when we went up there, Ryan. I was like, I never really kicked in because I've been doing this so long, and it never felt like my car still for some reason. It just never did. Just felt like I was back in Chuck Up. You know what I mean? And then but Q3, man, place was packed, and I started kind of looking around, and I wish someone had it on camera because I started crying when I was putting freaking alcohol in the blower, and I was going, don't cry. Just roll through. You know what I'm saying? And then when it went brother. 64, dude, I just broke into tears, and my whole team was so happy. And
dude, is that not just the most incredible feeling when you've had this vision? You are such on a mission just in general with whatever field or whatever it is that you're doing, right? And you have these visions of these things happening and you want to do this, and then you're doing it, and then you build it, and then to hit that level of success, you know what I mean? Like to all of a sudden you're in the moment and it's happening and it's real and you did it. And it's, it's the same feeling I imagine like Olympic athletes or anybody that's trained their whole life or spent their whole life.
It's like a crazy situation to where you work so hard to achieve a goal, but then in the big picture, that goal is only a milestone because now that you went that, now it's the next step and the next step. But each spot is that goal that you can really plant your flag at.
Yeah. 100%. And so you're standing there on the starting line, you're looking around, and then that moment hits you. You're like, well, here it is, man. This is what I've been kicking my ass to get to, and it's such a good feeling. Like,
I went back to all those nights, man, where it was just me and Turbo. I told Turbo after running, I don't think Turbo, he don't cry. I mean, you can tell he felt it, but man, we looked at each other and he had the battery box plugged into the driver, passenger door. And he's like, I know, buddy. And he was feeling it right there with me. And that connection between really me and him and Fred and everybody is so strong. I love those guys, and I will do anything for my team. That's one thing. I think that's why people follow me, or they like we work together so well, is because they know for damn well I will do anything for them, and I know they'll do anything for me, and I surround myself with people like that.
Well, you know what, brother? That is the epitome of a team. The most unstoppable team is the most selfless team. It's the team that will do whatever it takes to make sure the other guy's taken care of, where you're all looking out for each other. And it's almost like the Navy SEAL mentality, right? Like that is the unkillable team. Like those are the teams that are unstoppable. It's selfless. You guys are mission driven. You're in the trenches together. You have your failures and you have your wins and successes together. And that's really what makes the most successful team, if you ask me.
100%. Yeah, no, I agree. Dude. Failing is part of succeeding, Most people are scared of failure, but that's how you get places. You got to fail. We all fail.
For sure. And I posted something on Facebook the other day regarding that sort of, it's like fear of failure is a mile wide, but it's only an inch deep, right? And once you step in, you realize you can just keep going and it's not so bad, man. Like shit's going to happen. Just deal with it and you keep going. But that's where you grow. That's where you build grit. That's where I'm a huge proponent of constantly putting yourself in uncomfortable, awkward, bad situations, because that is where you get the most growth, dude. Hands down, no doubt about it.
Yeah.
What's up, John?
I'm telling you, John's going to be the one to look out for this year in ADRL. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like Bubba, I don't know what he was doing on a tree. I'm not going to talk shit because I don't know if I can cut a light either. But 132 or something, John went 31. And we had that one in the bag, and we kind of gave it back to him. But I'm telling you right now, John's going to be the one that y'all need to look out for in ADRL. This one here, it's going to run every once in a while. It'll be, like I said, it'll definitely be at XRP. Y'all can count on that. But John is the one that his car is light enough. His car's fast. I'm telling you right now. I mean,
and he's a great dude, man. I mean, what a great dude. He's always smiling. He's always just like motivated and happy. Like, dude, I'm telling you, I jive with those kind of people, man. He's such a good dude. Speaking of which, my family's from Cleburne. When you mentioned Cleburne, they're all from Cleburne, so they're all from around that area. Fort Worth, Cleburne, all that stuff.
Dude, I've never been to Cleburne, but I was going on some back roads to back roads. It was like
dude. Oh man, try going to Steve Wiley's shop. It's out there. I'm like, dude, where are we even going right now? Like, we're out here. But yeah, man, I mean, it's so good, dude. And so let me ask you before I get into a special segment that I like to get into. From a racer standpoint, what is, and I want you to answer this in full transparency and as genuine as possible, which I know you're going to. And I don't like lip service, right? Because in order to grow, you got to know. I just made that up, by the way. In order to grow, you got to know.
I'm not sure you did, but
I just spit it out. I don't think I ever read it anywhere. From a racer standpoint, right? Because I look at this as a few different ways. You got the track owner in the track that is involved in an event. You got the racers and teams who are involved in an event, and then, or drivers and teams. And then you have spectators who are involved in an event. Because we don't have spectators on the podcast normally. From a driver standpoint, from a team standpoint, give me three things that you would find most attractive about going to a race. What would drive you to go to a race over another race? Whether it's, and I don't want to plant any seeds in your head, but when you're looking at schedules and things to do, and what do you want to get, what do you want to go attack? What is it that you're looking for in an event that is the most attractive? Three things.
I mean, for sure, I think the number one most important thing is having an audience to perform in front of, because it is a sports entertainment business at the end of the day. You know what I mean? And none of us are gonna flow the way we should if there's not a big crowd, and that's one thing too, like about drag racing right now. I think it's on the comeback. You know what I'm saying? And what I mean by that is there's been so much COVID really, I think, for everybody just screwed everything up. And I think everything's starting to come back. But, I think, like you said earlier about your point, wanting to do a big series thing, I would love for that, because I think we all need to work together. And let's grow this seed together, and let's make this thing fucking rock for everybody.
Amen.
Because if y'all are packing the stands, I'm selling merch. You know what I'm saying? It's not even about money at the end of the day. Let's just make it clear. But money's obviously involved in this entire thing, right? The racers, really, we don't make a lot of money. We're sacrificing a lot of money. But at the end of the day, I think the audience is the first thing for sure. The second thing is the racers. I think, like I've seen MPK, and I don't want to say agree with the way they do things on some stuff, but I agree with some of it. I don't agree with some of it. You know what I mean? Like, I think they're too on the sports entertainment side as far as the camera stuff. They're not really focused on the racers as much as like the actual integrity of the sport. We have to keep that integrity of rules and fairness, right? Like, there's so many power additors and pro mod. That's all Street Outlaws is pro mod cars and steel quarters. And you have to, I've heard them say several times, it's like, this is a TV show first, racing second over there. And it's kind of like, don't get me wrong, the races are legit as hell. They're real. But yeah, if you feel someone may be cheating, you need to go, make sure. There's just certain things. They don't really play by their own rules a whole lot. You know what I'm saying? If they like somebody more, they'll probably be like, oh, you can have that a little bit. You know what I'm saying? It just doesn't make a whole lot of sense. So, I think integrity of the sport, obviously. And then the MPK guys also, like, one thing I've noticed is it's, the way they entertain people is important. Like NHRA, I'm throwing a lot of jabs, but I'm not trying to. But NHRA, they're very professional. And there's a fine line of that. And I think having these ropes in your pit where people can't come in and say hi to you and stuff, come on, dude. That's what we're there for. I understand, like, you don't want a crazy drunk dude running up on your car or whatever. I get that. But we got to have a personality. We can't limit these people's personality. We got to let them be what they want to be. You know what I'm saying?
I don't think I realized that the NHRA did that. And in my mind, I would think, wouldn't that be up to the pit's discretion and the racers to put up their own stuff or something? Or are you saying that are the pits and the racers doing it, or is the NHRA telling them to do it?
The pits and the racers, but like NHRA, there's a lot of, like, we had a helmet cam one time. We put inside Justin Jones' helmet. It weighed which it might be a safety thing, I don't know, but it weighed like half a pound, maybe, right? Mm-hmm. We get out of the run and Justin put it in his helmet to create unique content that, something different, right? So it would be like a standpoint of him driving the car that like is legit point of view. They come over and they take it out of the helmet and they yell at you and they, and then they throw it away and then they disqualify your run and you're like, fuck, I was just trying to be a little bit different, have some cool content to help push this thing, right? So there's a way you can go about it, pissing the racers off that are, to be honest with you, the ones putting in a lot of the money, you know what I'm saying? Or you can be like MPK and kind of let them go wild, which I'm not saying is the right thing either. So there's a fine line that you got to walk.
I agree. Yeah.
I'm sure it's a tough challenge, man. I don't know what that's like. I'm the racer that's balls to the wall, going as hard as he can go. So I don't really, you know what I mean?
You're not focused on how the event's going or, what's going on in the village per se. It's
on making that run.
With that second point, I was getting a lot of feedback and, maybe it just happens because it's I feel like business in general is a reflection of you as an individual and your leadership as the owner from top down, right? It's your culture. And that's what I always got, with my other companies. And with this, because I'm more of a laid back, let's have fun people kind of person. I was getting a lot of feedback from all the crews like, dude, this is great. This is fun. It's so laid back. Everybody's in a great mood. Like, it's not all uptight and okay. So it's interesting you said that because that was actually a lot of the feedback that we had got about how it wasn't. Now we are pretty strict about, going to the starting line and people being, holding on to cars and all kinds of shit like that. Like I've heard horror stories and I just don't want it to be on my watch. So there is, to your point, a fine line between let's have a good time, but at the same time, let's not be stupid and make some bad decisions.
Let's all walk away from this good time.
Yeah, for sure. Let's all walk away and it's all about having fun. And I've already told my dad, like, this thing's going to see the track 3 or 4 times a year. And every time, as long as it goes out and we have fun, then we've accomplished our goal. You know what I'm saying? I have another deal that's going to keep me busy for a while. And this thing here is we're going to run for the big money for sure. That's my main goal, is stay in front of those big audiences and keep myself, I don't want to say relevant. I feel like I'm relevant, but you know what I'm saying? Like just keep myself in the big picture. You know what I mean?
For sure. So do you think that the big purses, are a huge attraction for a lot of the teams, sure, even with the amount of money that it costs them to participate per se?
Yeah, I will say like the problem with like an invitation only, let's just say that like you can kind of manipulate that, right? And I'm not saying it's manipulated by anybody. I'm just saying it's like
there's potential there for it to happen.
So many people that deserve it, and it's hard to say, oh, I didn't invite them this year. So that's hard. And it's, I'm sure that's really hard on Weston. And they do a great job at what they do for sure. There's no way I could do what they do. I can tell you that right now. And then you got like Haney's deal. It's not, I believe, I could be wrong. I believe it's not invite only. I think it's like first 45 cars that don't go to the first 4 races. Like if you go to the first 4 races of Midwest, which is smart on their part because now you're a Midwest car, you don't have to pay an entry. You get a free entry and you get to go. But if you're classified as a not Midwest car, which means you didn't go the first 4 out of 6, then you have to pay $2,500, right?
Yeah.
So
I think there's 45
like me,
of those that qualify into that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And for me, I mean, I'm not going to go to first 4 just because I have a schedule between Chuck 55, James Beadling, John Sullivan. I'm sure I'll be helping John a little bit. I'd love to be at some ADRL. I mean, all kinds of stuff. Like I went to Flame Car Chaos this year. I'm always branching out, trying to find that uncomfortable spot so I can get comfortable again and make myself better. You know what I'm saying? So
amen, dude. That's why
I like
That's why you see me walking around the pits at events, I'm just like, all right, man, just get out there and promoting, and there's a lot of reasons why I'm doing that, but there's a lot of, there had been a lot of uncomfortable positions that I was expecting to be in. And, you got to face that shit head on. And, we keep grinding and growing and making it happen. So that's good feedback, man, because as a new promoter, I love this outlet and this podcast, not only because the ADRL was great and it was amazing and it had one of the most amazing promoters that has ever existed on the planet when it comes to drag racing, which is Kenny Nowling. He was, from a promoter standpoint, like he's the epitome of a promoter, right? And so, to see what he had done and then me to come in as a new promoter, even though I'm from the music industry and I know how to promote per se, you still have to learn this side of the fence and what motivates spectators and what motivates racers and kind of learning the dynamics of it all, right? So there's a lot of rich history, and we're going to keep grinding and making it happen. But that was some great feedback, and I appreciate you telling me that, because it's cool for me to be able to pick folks' brains and kind of find out what motivates guys, to come to races. Because, right now, seriously, between Keith Haney's deal and the PDRA and a lot of these other organizations, I'm not going to lie, it's been a little challenging to get a full 16 car field at these events, and I'm still trying to figure out what it's going to take to get there, other than putting up $150,000 for somebody to win, because I mean, there's got to be more to it than just that, and if that is it, maybe maybe I really need to be shooting for the stars and going to Anheuser-Busch or fucking Nike or something for sponsors, I don't know, but I got you. Anyways, so I want to go into my next segment, Cole, and I call this In the Groove. I'm a music guy, so one, are you a music guy? You like music? You listen to music?
I like all kinds of music. I mean, don't get me wrong. If you start telling me like this is a deal where we got to guess the band, I'm screwed. But we can try it.
Not actually. So let's say that week before, the week before World Series of Pro Mod, you guys are grinding to put the car together, and you guys are listening to music. What are you listening to? What's your go-to? Really?
Metallica, 110%.
Absolutely.
I don't even really know. Honestly, it was probably a little bit of everything. And when you're so delirious that you can't even hear your own thoughts, I don't think you really know what's playing in the background. You know what I mean? But you're just kind of. It does help. Like Mac Miller, Best Day Ever. I listen to that all the time.
That's good stuff. Mac Miller's great, man.
I'll play that guy all day long. And we listened to Best Day Ever a couple of times at like 5 a.m, and just like, it was funny. I wish, like Adam said, I wish that we had recorded the whole thing, but I always felt like social media was not my strong suit growing up. I'm not, to be honest with you, I do this to promote myself, to try to help get sponsors to continue to run the car at, let's say, the 150,000. But as far as overall, is it my number one goal? Is it my favorite thing to do? Not necessarily, right? But I didn't feel like I could make Cole Pezs Racing without a tool, and I call this a tool. You know what I'm saying? And I can market myself with. Yeah, I can show like I work on Luis's car or my dad's car or whatever, and I think that would be a cool aspect of it too. I have some cool ideas, like not documentary, like a vlog type deal. You can do like life of a racer, like when I fly out to somewhere and I'm recording like what it actually takes to get this stuff done. I'm telling you, I think if people, there's some kids out there like I'm a kid, by the way, but there's some kids out there that, and I've seen it 100 times, Ryan. They go out here. Sorry, Fears. When they go out here,
call me whatever you want, bro.
They come in, and because I ran a 3-car, 10 people working for me, Pro Mod team and NHRA for like 2 years, and I'll tell you right now, that's one of the most stressful things you'll ever do at 19 years old. And the problem is, you get some of these guys that are like 24, and that's all they want to do is work on race cars, and they come in, and then like when we're on the track, they're having a good time and everything. But once it's like no one's around and your hands are bloody and you got oil in your eyes and you're not sure if you're all right, you know what I'm saying? And you're kind of like looking at your buddy and your back hurts and their back hurts and you're like,
it's like the fog of war.
Yeah, you're like, exactly. That's why I like you. I remember when you came up to me and you're like a Marine right now, bro. And I got oil on my forehead, my knuckles are bleeding. I'm looking at you like, oh, okay, that's Ryan. Okay, calm down. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I'm freaking in there. I'm in there just doing. I don't even know what I'm doing. You know what I mean?
Oh,
I'm just
you
going
were
hard.
grinding, bro. Like you could tell, like you were on a mission. That was mission mode for sure, man. And it's
For sure.
awesome to watch. That's why anytime I come to an event you guys are at, you're like the first pit that I go to because I'm like, oh, I'm gonna creep up and watch Cole like great. Because every time I show up, you're running around like a madman, dude. You're either taking heads off or I mean, everything that you do is what you're doing, man. So no, that's awesome, man. Yeah, no, music's good. And I'm glad you said Metallica because I like Metallica. And Mac Miller's super dope too. Give me one other band you like to listen to, or group, or rapper, or
CCR. I know that sounds
dude,
kind of weird, but dude,
kind
like,
of
what's that
weird. Are
one
you
song?
shitting me?
Something. Well, I mean, it's like I'm freaking 22. I shouldn't even know what that means. I
Oh
think
man,
it's
you should
Creedence
absolutely know what it means. Greatest
Clearwater
music.
Revival. I think something
Yeah,
like that. But
Creedence
like,
Clearwater. Yeah, Creedence.
Good music is
Creedence
timeless.
Clearwater Revival. Yes,
yeah.
CCR.
And dude,
Yes.
Johnny Cash. Like, I'll play this one song, dude, when I'm just like done. Like, that's how you know I'm done. I'm just letting you know. You ever come by and you hear "Ain't No Grave Can Hold My Body Down" by Johnny Cash? I'll sit there and I'll just I'm telling you, I'll just go to town for another hour with that on replay and just go, this ain't gonna stop me. You know what I mean? I'll do it the whole time.
It's so good, dude. Oh, I love it, man. Well, hey, brother, you know what? Your energy is contagious. Your enthusiasm and your passion, dude, is what it's about, brother. And I just love being around you, man, and hanging out at your pits, even though I know you're busy as shit. But I appreciate you coming on the podcast, dude. I really do.
I appreciate y'all for having me. I really do.
And we're gonna keep digging. You're gonna keep digging. We're gonna keep digging. We'll keep digging together. Even though we're on, we're in two different verticals of the same thing, man. Even though we're not in the pits, we're kind of in the pits together, So
for sure.
Takes all of us.
That's what I love, man. I can't wait to support y'all series and run this thing and Gap, Bubba, and Clyde. And I'm not gonna call out John. He's got PJS motor. But
are you gonna put a Clyde Killer sticker on your car?
Dude, that would be cool, wouldn't it? If I put like his face with like a target on it or something like that. I thought about it. I ain't gonna lie. I thought about it.
Around, people would chip in to do it.
I mean, dude,
they would.
Clyde was spanking some ass last year, dude. I mean, Clyde.
I'm gonna give him props, man. Where props is due. He runs good sometimes. When he runs, that's the problem. But he'll be there. We'll figure it out.
He'll definitely be there. Well, you know what?
on.
And it'll be in November as well. So I think the air should be nice and cool. Hopefully it won't be shitty weather, but I'm hoping that we can get you some really strong hits. I see the radio guys getting, picking up some fast ETs. Let's get these Pro Extreme and Pro Nitrous and Extreme Dragsters going, man. I mean, we're getting some great traction with the Extreme Dragster guys too. Toby from Renegade Fuels. We got the Altereds coming in. We got Sullivan coming in, John Sullivan from who runs a really bitchin'. He's got a really awesome altered. It's called the Patriot, man. It's such a cool ride.
I got you.
Yeah. So, we need to start breaking some ADRL records, man. So we have them. We had one at SGMP. The Extreme Dragster record was broke. And did Reister, Adam, correct me if I'm wrong, did Reister set the ADRL Pro Nitrous record?
I mean, I think if he did, he just probably broke his own, if anything.
Right.
Yeah,
I was about to say. That's why I saw something about we should do Pro Nitrous, Pro Extreme, 1500 or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
And I think that's a badass idea. And then I put Doug Reister versus the world because, I'm not knocking any nitrous guy, but I will say this: Halsey, Haney, these guys, and I'm not, dude. They work hard for their money, rightfully so. They have a badass operation, both of them do. But I promise you right now, and I think we should all try to pitch in some money and get Doug Reister out there at a PDRA so he can start gapping fools. I'm telling you right now, he's going to go out there with his 30-foot enclosed that he's got with his fucking dually and just to have a damn good time, have a cookout in his pits with all of his boys he's had around forever. And I promise you, he'll pull up next to $1 million rigs and start gapping fools. I'm telling you right now, Doug Reister's the epitome of what I want to be.
Amen, dude. He is. And, him and his team and those boys, man. And he's been doing it, working out of his garage and that trailer for 20 years, bro. Maybe even longer. And that's it. He's the grassroots drag racer. He builds all of his own shit. And he is fast as a mother, man. He's
one of my heroes, man.
He's the David versus Goliath. I mean, Goliath, if you look at Goliath as a racing team with unlimited budget, He's
Oh,
definitely
yeah.
the David.
I don't think that Reister could go run in the PDRA because I think they put like 600 pounds on the nitrous cars.
Yeah, you're right. I think they do. I might be wrong. That might have been a good point. I might sound stupid now. I don't know, but
Yeah, no. But
I
you know what?
promise you, if you give him a year, he'll figure it out. He'll figure it out. And
Yeah,
Doug, we
somebody's
trust.
gonna crack the
That's
code.
national
He'd do
anthem
it.
Texas.
Hey, he's the mad scientist for a reason, man. He is the
telling
mad scientist for a reason. All right, man. Well, I think we've hit the end of the road here, brother. Much love, Cole. We appreciate you so much being on here, Engine Wizard, and congrats on everything. I'm looking forward to seeing the release of your spectacular news here in about a month, man. And
Thank you.
yeah, and look, jump in when you can. I don't think there are. Spread the word with the pro mod guys, man. And I know a lot of guys are set up with the PDRA and running this Midwest, and I know they have like a lot of weights and shit that they put on, and they don't want to change just to come run with us. But you know, I need to get the word spread out. Strip the weight, bury the shit. Come run Pro Extreme and Pro Nitrous. Run what you brung, and let's go hit it. And who knows, I might strip the weight for the second half of the year just to say fuck it and
I promise you right now, when we get Dad's new project ready, I don't think anybody will be able to run with that one. But whenever it's ready, I mean, obviously everyone knows we had some issues. I know we're ending this thing, but we had some issues, and we got another car coming. We'll just leave it at that. Whenever we get that thing ready, it's going to be built for Pro Extreme. This car here is going to be built to win $100,000 over at World Series with 2,680,000 pounds. But the other one is going to be built to weigh hopefully 2,100 if Dad can stop eating Oreos and Fritos.
I mean, your dad's a big dude, man. Like he's a tall, big fucking guy. I mean,
he is.
I mean,
He
he's a
looks
big
like the
dude.
Undertaker. He's gonna get
He
mad.
does look
but he looks like the Undertaker.
Shit,
Right,
maybe
I
he
gotta
should.
get off here before I get in trouble now with that. He's gonna come in here and start kicking shit down.
Yeah, he's like, what the fuck, man?
We're throwing Oreos at you.
Oh, it's all good. Cole, hey man, much love, brother. We appreciate you, and we'll see you around soon. We'll see you around soon, man.
Thank you
All right,
very
brother.
much. Yeah.
Peace. Oh man, Cole's such a cool kid, dude. And I don't mean to call him a kid. He's a grown ass man. He's already hit all the shit in life that takes you from being a kid to a man. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, genuinely speaking, like he realizes no one's coming to save his ass. He works like it's the end of the world. And I mean, it's about as, it just doesn't get any better than that, man. I don't know if there's another kid in the industry his age is badass. Is him. I think you might be muted, Adam.
Not his age, probably, but it reminds me of what Carter would probably be about that.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. The Carter is the up and coming Cole Pezs for sure.
No doubt.
100%. He's going to jump out of his junior dragster into a top fuel funny car, Undertaker classic. Oh, it's so funny. I just did a weird little Porky's laugh. That was funny.
Yeah, that was cute. Nobody will clip that.
every time Cole was talking about his buddy Turbo, I couldn't help but thinking about Turbo and Ozone from Breaking. You know what I'm talking about?
Okay.
Breaking, Turbo and Ozone.
Yes. Until you threw up the robot, I was really confused. I was searching the memory banks. But yeah.
Turbo and Ozone, man. I kept dying every time you said Turbo. I was like, oh my God, Turbo and Ozone.
And of course, the film classic Breaking 2, Electric Boogaloo.
Breaking 2, Electric Boogaloo. Oh my God, that's classic shit right there, man. I mean, if you haven't seen him, go see him. I don't know, dude. He's pretty up to speed, 70s and current, man. And you know what? His mom and dad actually do post great music on their reels. That's why I asked him. You know, when he said CCR and a lot of other good stuff like that, I was like, oh yeah,
watched all those on beta.
Man, I'm not gonna lie. When I was a kid, like I looked up to Turbo and Ozone. I wanted to break dance. I mean, we got giant pieces of cardboard. We put our socks on, and I was trying to do it all, dude. Head spins, moonwalks, you name it.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, hardwood floor and socks.
Coming to the northeast. You know, so I would like to go anywhere. The bottom line is, as a promoter and as the ADRL, I would love to go everywhere. I think where we're at currently is in regrowth mode, rebranding mode, and just kind of keeping the train going. Because, you know, right now I know there's a huge pro mod following in the broom dance. Oh no shit, the broom dance. I forgot all about the broom dance. That was so good. Whoever just dropped that little nugget,
Benjamin,
thank you, because that was great. You know, I would love to. Would we get, I guess the question in my mind is, would we get a Pro Extreme, Pro Nitrous, and Extreme Dragster turnout if we went up there? You know, I mean, that's really the question. We know there's a million fans that want to come to an ADRL event. I mean, we've already had more spectators in the past 20 years of the ADRL. We have pumped more spectators in our events than any other drag racing series. Now, I can't say that about like NHRA, right? Obviously, it's the NHRA, and they've got way, way, way more years. But in the past 20 years, taking out the NHRA, we have created, shit. I'm from St. Louis, and I don't know how many people know about the 110,000 person spectator turnout in 2 days at Worldwide Technology. That's fucking crazy. And at SGMP and at Rockingham. Exactly, Jay. So, you know, we know the spectators are out there. It's getting them reignited. It's getting back out there and pushing the broom again and getting the word out there and getting on the radio, the television. It's just making it happen, letting everybody know that the ADRL is back, you know, and we're on a mission, and it's stretching its legs, it's drinking its coffee, it's doing its push-ups, and we're fucking doing it. So, you know, but the other part to the spectators, and it's to Cole's point, is that drag racers, and I get the feeling like, fuck, I was a musician. I am a musician. I've played in bands. There's nothing worse than going and playing a show and there's nobody there to play in front of. It's like the energy's not there. You're not feeling it. It sucks, right? It just, in general, it sucks. You know, so, you know, the spectators are one thing, but you got to have the racers. We got to have the racers there too. So, you know, I think that the past 5 to 10 years, a lot of guys and the PDRA has done a great job of, you know, building their program, and Midwest Pro Mods and Keith Haney, Midwest Pro Mod Series. I think this name, I don't know 100% what the name is. Midwest Pro Mods, I think. You know, he's done a great job of building his series, you know. So, you know, a lot of the cars are built to run in those series. We're the only ones at this point that is a series of full-on Pro Extreme, Pro Nitrous, Outlaw, no weight shit, right? So, you know, it's finding our niche. It's a resurgence of finding our niche and getting back out there, because again, I'd love to come to the Northeast and I'd love to go to the East Side, but you know, the PDRA has really got a heavy following over there, and you know, they're paying out big purses. They're doing a lot of great stuff, and their series is kicking ass. So, you know, I respect that. I understand it. I'm not a fool, and I'm not going to go try to tread in their pond per se. But as we get momentum and as we pick things up, US 41 actually, as a matter of fact, I think Chris is the owner. Yeah. You know, he wanted us to maybe do an event in June there, or we had talked about doing something, but I think we're going to keep June out of it.
As much as it's March right now, I mean, we're only, and you and I and the elite team are only probably a couple months away from really honing in on 2025. So
yeah, I think we're pretty much locked in for a couple already in 2025, but we want to get that done. So, you know, the Northeast, the North, out West, you know, I think there's a lot of opportunity everywhere. We just have to really focus on getting the spectators back out, getting the racers reacclimated to our classes, and just making it a big blowout, spectacular event like it has been and like it will be. So that's a long-winded answer to your question about going to the Northeast, but that's you know, I think it needs some direction. You know, I got to preface the answer with all the segue and stuff and whatnot, and things and all the whatever. All right. So another great podcast. Super glad to have Cole on. Prince Adam, appreciate your navigating the ship while we handle this. And you got anything else, man?
Nope. Drag Wars coming up. Start working on your costume now.
Yeah, start work. I've already got mine picked out. I'm curious. I'll give $100 to anybody that figures out now what I'm going to be for Drag Wars. $100.
If anybody wants to split it with me, hit me up.
And it's only for the folks watching on the podcast right now. So If anybody, just throw your answers up there. While you're sitting there, just throw out some Star Wars figures and just guess what I'm going to be. I'll give $100 to anybody that guesses it right. That's right. We're going to keep building it, Jay. I appreciate that, brother. We'll keep building it. You got that right. Anyways, before I digress, Drag Wars, Star Wars, Chewbacca.
It was discussed.
I'm not going to give the right answer. I'm just going to let this simmer.
How you going to award $100 if you don't give the right answer? If somebody guesses the right answer right now, you'd have to give them $100.
Oh, well, if they guess it right. Yeah, I was thinking like at the event, like, see who gave out the answers and then at the event. But yeah, okay, we'll do it right now. I'll give $100 to anybody right now that guesses, but you only get one guess. You can't just keep running through everything. That's a no. Chewbacca's a no. Absolutely talked about. No. Okay, now this is going to be a manner of deduction. Okay, Bruce won it. Obi-Wan Kenobi. There you go, brother. $100 to Bruce. Much love, dude. Sorry if there's a delay, but hey, you know what? Another thing we're thinking about doing, guys.
Shoot me an email, Bruce.
Bruce, shoot Adam an email, and we'll get you taken care of. I really, really, really want to create a digital archive of the ADRL. And as everybody may or may not know, I have every single beta tape from every single event since the ADRL. Johnny 5, no shit. Oh, Johnny 5. Fuck. Princess Leia. Yeah, fuck. I know, Steve. That's something my uncle would have said, Uncle Steve. What was I saying? Because that was pretty funny. I lost my train of thought.
Mr. Bruce and
well, Johnny 5, R2D2.
R2D2 would be cool.
Yeah, R2D2 would be cool. I lost my train of thought. Doesn't matter. It was a great podcast. Cole, thanks for being on, brother. His dad's pretty awesome. And thanks everybody tuning in. We'll look forward to seeing you guys. Remember, Montgomery, May 3rd and 4th. Tell your friends, tell your families. Tell everybody out there.
Don't do it.
I'm not going to do it.
It's not Tuesday night.
No, I'm not going to.
Okay.
But tell everybody. Please spread the word. If you know somebody that's planted their Pro Extreme or Pro Nitrous car away and it's collecting some dust, send them our way, man. We want to get this going. 16 cars per field. That's what we need. 16 car ladder. It's what I want. It's what we're looking for. It's what the spectators want. That's the competition that the racers want. Okay, so let's do it. Now, if 30 cars show up, it's a different story. 40 show up. I mean, the ladder will be a little different. We're not going to go into this whole ladder conversation, are we, Adam? But
not right now.
Spread the word, gang.
Fired up right now. This is calm down time.
Yeah. It's calm down time. But hey, love you guys. Love you, ADRL Nation. Thank you for the support. Keep following us. Keep posting content. Keep sharing old content. We're going to keep bringing it up, breathing air back into it, breathing the life back into it. And it's going to be the greatest thing since sliced bread, or the greatest thing since it was the greatest thing. And it's still the greatest thing. Let's have some fun, man. Let's have some fun. All right. Much love, ADRL Nation. Peace. Chicken grease.